Hi, and welcome back to Tucking It Up. My name is Tuck, and on this channel we play around with makeup, talk about drag, video games, and the X-Men, and occasionally we'll try to combine all of the above. Today I'm going to be creating a relatively simple eye look. One might even say it's soft and pleasant, or kind of an everyday look. Personally, I don't like this division between, this idea that there's an everyday or work-appropriate style versus something that's a bit more outlandish. I feel it's really unfortunate that there are people who feel very strongly that there are some things that are unprofessional and some that are not, and like these opinions, right, they're really not based on anything empirical or anything objective. Unfortunately though, that's the world we live in, so I guess it is what it is. To keep things interesting for myself, I'm going to give myself a bit of a constraint as to what products I can use. Specifically for the eyeshadows, I'm going to limit myself to using only shades from the Mthrshp Mega Celestial Divinity palette. This palette is from McGrath, of course, and it does not have a lot of finishes or shades that most people would consider appropriate for everyday. I want to create a look that would fit into that definition of everyday, but use these more almost like outlandish shades. The first step today is I'm going to prime my eyelids. To prime today, I'm going to use the soft ochre paint pot from MAC, just a very light layer, and I'm not even going to use a brush actually. I'm just going to go in directly with my fingers. Great, now that that's done, I'm going to go in with the Major Mahogany shade from the palette. As the name implies, this is a nice warm brown shade, and I'm just going to go in quite lightly and use it sort of as the transition shade and as the base for most of this look. I'm going to take a nice fluffy blending brush. This one is just a generic one I got off of Amazon, and just start by applying a light wash of color over my lids. I concentrated more of the shade towards the outer corner, and then I also used the brush to lightly sketch out the shape I want today. I'm going to go for a little bit of a more pulled out look, more of a wing, but it's going to be quite subtle. It's not going to be like a cat eye. Now I'm going to go in with a bit more of a denser brush, but still relatively fluffy. So this is the Goss number 19. As someone with small eyes, I really love this brush because it fits really nicely into the socket, and it almost blends everything as soon as I put it down. I do sound like a bit of an ad, but I swear I'm not being paid. You can tell from the number of views that that's not really possible, right? And I'm back. Sorry, my camera stopped recording halfway. It ran out of memory, but I fixed that now. So while it was not recording, what I did was I just intensified the color a little bit with the Goss number 19. I blended out some of the edges, and this is what I've ended up with. It's going to be a little bit more intense at the end, but I want to apply the other colors first before I do that, I think. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the shade Corruption from the palette and use that towards the inner corner, sort of the inner third of my eye, because I want to do more of a little bit of a highlight in the middle of my eye. Not quite a halo or a spotlight eye, but something in that vein. Since Soft and Pleasant is the name of the game today, I'm not going to go in and apply Corruption with a dense packing brush. Instead, I'm going to use the Goss number 20. It's basically a slightly denser, smaller version of the number 19, so it will give me good payoff, but still have a very soft finish. Great, now that Corruption is on, I'm going to apply the shade Bronze to the center of the lid. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Next step is I'm going to intensify that Major Mahogany shade that we put on the outer corners earlier, and then I'm also going to bring it a little bit into the lower lash line. I'm pretty happy with how that's turning out. Now I'm just going to take some of the mahogany again and just go really, really gently in my socket. Okay, so I think that's eyeshadow done. What I'm going to do next is go in with a brown pencil, just tight line, and then also do a little bit of a brow bone highlight and an inner corner pop. And now for the tight lining, I'm going to go in with this brown Maybelline Tattoo Studio like gel liner pencil. It just has really good color payoff and it's dirt cheap, and I just really works well for my eye color. So now I'm just going to add a thin line of brown right above the lash line. And there we go. I think that's the eyes done. I had to do my lips off screen. I apologize, my camera has been acting up. And so what I did was I used the Jumbo Lip Pencil from Black Up in the shade 16 just to line and do kind of the base color. And then over that, I put on the shade Consensual from MAC in their matte lipstick line. Overall, I'm quite happy with how this look turned out. I think it is quite soft, quite pleasant, definitely something, I guess that you could wear for an everyday sort of thing. So yeah, so that's today's look. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope you got some ideas on how you might be able to take shades that you have that maybe strike you as like, oh, it's too much for daytime, or it's too much for the office, or it's too much for, our favorite grocery store meme. And just apply it, think of ways you can use it so that it can be incorporated into more everyday looks. It's really, I think, all about the application and how you combine different shades and different finishes together so that something is quote-unquote office appropriate or everyday friendly. So I'm thinking in my next video, this is too subdued for me, so I'm going to try and come up with something that's a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more colorful, a little bit bolder. And I'm probably going to take inspiration from the new cosmic skins that are being released in League of Legends, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, bye!